video and everything is good?
Yeah, everything is good.
That should be fine. Mr. Surya, in before of starting, can I know your profile? What is your work experience and what is your academic and everything? Can I have a snapshot of it of you?
Yeah. So basically, I completed my graduation in BTech Computer Science.
Uh-huh.
So, and after that, I started working as a sales executive.
Okay.
So I have almost 4 years of experience in marketing and sales.
Okay.
So right now, I'm working as a business development manager for Quantian Solutions.
Okay. Fine. That's it. So is it a product based or a service based?
It's basically product and service based, IT services and products.
IT services
So
also.
right now, I'm dealing with one of their IT product called Inap BI. So which is completely, it's a business analytics tool.
Business analytics tool, na? That was a
Yeah. Yeah.
yes. I hear that. That should be great, Mr. Surya.
Yeah.
So in the demo session, whatever we have discussed is that what is SAP and why SAP and what to do in SAP. I hope that was clear for yours. That should be great. And here, today we are going to discuss about of the process, how it will be happening. Right? So in SAP, totally there is a two types of the roles will be there. One is to the end user.
Yeah. Vijay, once again, can you please record this session?
Yeah, it was going to record it. It's going to
Okay.
recording.
Fine.
If
Yeah.
you can see the screen in the top of the screen, it will be showing that recording. There is a red button as well.
Yes.
It's already
Yes.
recording. Yeah. It's already recording.
Okay.
So one is to the end user, and the second role is to the consultant. So who will be the end user and who will be the consultant? In the sense of, say for example, whatever the company or any organization which they wants to use the SAP, he is called as an end user. That means simply which we can say that whatever the day-to-day activities will be happening in an organization, to maintain or record the transactions, whoever the persons are working, which is called as an end user. As which we said it as an let me take it as one pharmaceutical company. Let's take as an AstraZeneca. Okay, so
Yeah.
they are the users. That means the user, in a simple manner, which we can say that they will make the day-to-day transactions, which is called as an user. And who is the consultant? In the sense of whatever the AstraZeneca is making the day-to-day activities and the day-to-day transactions, for making of those of the transaction increase, we will customize. Those are the persons which is called as a consultant. So simply which we can say here, whatever the day-to-day activities will be happening is called as an end user. And for that day-to-day activities, whoever is going to make the implementation or else the customization, he is called as a consultant. And let me take it as your Infosys. That means in a simple manner, which we can say that an end user wants to use the SAP, and in between of this user and the product, we are there, and we are the consultant. What we are doing that we are customizing the applications of the standard SAP as per the requirements of the clients. That means as per the requirements of the users. Correct, Mr. Surya? Is it clear for you? Right.
Yes, yes.
And always we have to make our mind which we are into the Infosys. That means we have to make the customization or implementation of the SAP applications as per the user requirements. So whatever that implementation or the customization process was happening, for that particular process, there was a separate procedure will be there, that procedure which we are calling as a SAP methodology. What it mean by that? Accelerated SAP. Why? Because for everything, whatever we are doing, there should be some process or some procedure should be there. It's like as on SAP also, whatever the implementation of the customer happening, that procedure, whatever it was called as a SAP methodology, which it mean by that accelerated SAP. And in this accelerated SAP, there is totally 5 levels or 5 phases would be there. It was totally 5 levels or 5 phases are there. So what are those of the levels? That means the total implementation process, excuse me, the total implementation process was happening, will be happens in a proper manner or a proper method, which was called as an ASAP. Generally, which we are calling as soon as possible. Generally, we are thinking. But here, a SAP is a procedure to maintain or to customize the applications of the SAP as per the user requirements. And in this method or the manner, which we are having the 5 levels. The first level, which we are calling as project preparation. Say, for example, of myself is an AstraZeneca, and you are into the Infosys. Right? And first of all, I'm coming to yours, and I'm asking you, but I need to maintain my SAP package. For that, how much of the cost it was, and how much of the time it will be takes, how much of the time it will be takes, and how many of the employees you are having to maintain my project, and what is the payment terms and conditions which we have to. That all the initial plannings, that means payments or the team size or the duration of the project and everything, whatever the high level management activities can be happens with the phase which is called as a project preparation phase. Okay? And the second phase, which it means by that, the second level is to that business blueprint. It is business blueprint. So, what exactly it mean by that business blueprint? What exactly it mean by that business blueprint? So, what it is a business blueprint in the sense of whenever the question and we have done the contract with the client, we have done the contract with the client. What are the requirements of the client? That means the user. Whoever the persons which is there into the business blueprint, we are calling as a name business analyst. Business analyst. Here, in a simple word, which I can say here, the contract was made in between of the client and the company. And the second level, which it means by that, collecting the requirements from the user or else from the client or from the company. That is what we are calling as a business blueprint. So what it means by the business blueprint in the sense of, which is nothing but business blueprint in the sense of, it is simply which we can say that analyzing the client business process and also collect the requirements from the client. Fine. And whenever we got the requirements in the Infosys, in the third phase, which we are calling as realization. So what it mean by that realization? What it mean by that realization? In the sense of, which we consider customization or implementation of SAP as per BBPing. That means as per the business blueprint, whatever the client is having the requirement, as per those requirements, we have to customize of the SAP. That is what we are calling as a realization.
Yeah.
And whenever the realization phase was done, in the fourth phase or the fourth level, which it was called as final preparation. So what it mean by that final preparation? In the sense of simply which we can say that testing and training to user level. Testing and training to the users. So that is what we are calling as a final preparation. That means whatever the client is required, we have collected requirement, business blueprint, and as per that requirements, we make the implementation of the SAP as per the requirements, which is called as a realization, and whatever the realization was done, is it was properly done or not as per the client requirement. That has to be made by through the final preparation. It means testing to ourselves and providing the training to the user level. Provide the training to the user level. That's what we are calling as a final preparation. Final preparation. Okay. And at last, whenever we have done everything from the Infosys, we have to deliver that to the client. That means which we can call it as an go live and support. Go live and support. That means simply which we can say that live environment and as well as in the live environment, how they can move, and also in the uses, when shooting of the uses, is there any issues will be there, we will make the support. That means which we can say that maintenance. This is what the 5 levels or 5 phases which we are having the implementation process of the SAP methodology. Is it clear, Mr. Surya? Any confusion from your side?
No, it's clear.
That was clear. That should be great. And now, always make your mind, you're into the Infosys now. You're into the Infosys. And what we have to do that? We need to make the implementation.
Yeah.
We need to make the implementation of the customer. Okay, done was. Whenever in the realization we want to make the implementation of the customization, first of all, we have to collect the requirements from the client.
Yes.
Right? So whenever we are collecting the requirements from the client in the phase of the business blueprint, at the time, whatever the client has been, that means that the user has been given the requirements, on those of the requirements, whatever their sales and distribution activities, that means the user of the department is to the sales and distribution, and they want to maintain the sales activities. For maintaining of those of the sales activities, what we have to do? Else, how we have to maintain? That is what the realization, right? So, throughout the session, from today onwards, up to the end of the day, your mind, you are into the implementation, right? And you are working for the client of the AstraZeneca. Myself is an AstraZeneca, right? And I am playing in a multiple roles. That means, first of all, I am into the user level. So as a user, I am asking, this is my requirement. Now, as a consultant, how we have to do? So in this way, you have to do. That's also I'm going to do. That means I am making a multiple of the rules. That's why, frankly, I'm saying that here you are not learning, I'm not teaching. So we are dealing one project, and it was a smaller one. Under this project, we are handling the ascending sales and distribution. Got it, Mr. Surya? Now you get the clarification. Shall I go forward?
Yes, yes.
That should be great. That should be. Now, as in this way, as which we said that AstraZeneca made the contract with the user. Sorry, Infosys. That should be great. And now, we got the project from the AstraZeneca. Done.
Yeah.
And Mr. Surya is a consultant in the Infosys. Now, what you have to do, you need to collect the requirements from the client in the business blueprint. Is it right? So, in the business blueprint, as a client, which I am giving the requirements to yours, in my organization, sales activities was happening in my organization. In my organization, sales activities was happening. Under those of the sales activities, the first activity itself, it is an inquiring. Inquiry.
Right.
And the second one is to that quotation. And the third one is to that sales order. So when you have been interacted with me in the business blueprint, I said that, Mr. Surya, in my organization, we have the sales activities. Under the sales activities, first of all, we require the one application in the name of the inquiry. And in this inquiry, whoever the customers are working to our organization and inquiring about of the product and the material, product and the quantity and the price and everything, we are entering those of the details under this form of the inquiry. That means, in a simple way, which I said that I want the one application form in the name of the inquiry. Okay? And by that inquiring, I want the one more application after the inquiry. That's what I'm calling as a quotation. That means whatever the customer has been requested to us, I want this product. As per that customer's requirement, we are giving the quotation for them. Dear customer, this is the product which you are requested to us. We will provide this product for this detail. By this date, we will deliver. For this cost, we will make the delivery. Like that, we are giving the quotation also to them. That is a second transaction. And the third transaction, it is the customer has been satisfied with our quotation and they're ready to make a sale purchase from me. They're ready to make a purchase from me. At that time, whatever the customer has been given the confirmation, we are noting down in the name of the sales order. In the name of the sales order. So, as like as in my company or any organization, in my sales department, under my sales department, I want to maintain these of the three transactions. I want to maintain these of the three transactions. Got it, Mr. Surya? There is no confusion about this one. Hello?
Yeah. Hello. Yeah, got it.
Yes, fine. Why? Because if you are not responding now, I am going to it's a waste of the energy for me and in between. I'm asking
actually, it went to mute. I didn't see that.
Acha, no issue, no issue.
Yeah.
Right, then fine. So,
Yes.
As a client, as a user, the client people are the user, which they have said that they want these of the three transactions.
Yeah.
They are going to maintain these of the three transactions. And as a consultant, that means in Infosys, what we have to do that we need to prepare these of the three transactional streams.
Yeah.
That's the three transactional streams. Fine. So for maintaining of these of the transactions, as a consultant, our mind has to be worked now. As a consultant. So the client is asking to maintain that inquiry, quotation, and order. That should be great. For that, what we have to do? Sales activities can be happens by through the end user level. And if the end user wants to maintain those of the sales transactions under the user level, as a consultant, what we have to do? So here, what I am asking as a consultant level in the Infosys, what I'm thinking that okay, the client is asking about of these of the transactions now. For maintaining of these of the transactions, first of all, we have to get the details from the client. Recording about of what is the customers. That means first of all, we have to know that what are the customers which they are having. And what are the materials which they are having. Material master data. And whenever they are making the sales, what would be the pricing for that sales? That means either is the transportation has to be paid by sales team or else them. or the any discount has been given for the cash discount or the regular discount. As we have to collect all the pricing details also, and as well as whenever they set the material, and that material has to be comes by through the integration of material management. And whenever the sales was happening, that sales has to be reflecting into the finance also. So that we have to make the integration with finance team. And all these are the things and the transactions which was happening in the client organization. First of all, what is their organization? What is their organization? These are the organization. So first of all, whenever the client said that they want to make the transaction of the 3 transactions, that means sales activities. For maintaining of those of the sales activities, we need to make the customization of the client's customer and the client's material, and also the whatever the client says require the pricing, and making the integration from the MM and the finance. And then we have to maintain also the enterprise structure. Fine. So in that way, we are thinking in the chronicle wise, and that means ascending order wise. We have to prepare that into the descending opposite side. That means, first of all, we need to make the customization of the enterprise structure. After the enterprise structure, we need to make the integration. After that, we have to make it. 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 Other else, the first topic here, which we have to start with the enterprise structure. That means the empty SAP package is there with us. Empty SAP package is there with us in Infosys. So what we have to do that? We need to make the customization of the client's organizational structure. Client's organizational structure. So what is the client's organizational structure? Okay, chalo, but I have given this. This is my organization. I am having, these are the sales departments. I'm having the plants in so and so place. I'm having the storage locations and godowns in this place and everything which I give. Yeah. But you have to maintain. You have to maintain in your system. That means whatever the SAP package you made the purchases, on that you have to make it. So this is an individual PC which has been allocated for Mr. Surya on Infosys.
Yeah.
Now, as any consultant, whatever the system has been given to yours, you need to start your work. But whenever you want to start your work, the first thing which you have to know that how to enter on SAP. Why? Because you are into the completely new to the SAP. You don't know anything.
Yeah.
You know that what it works. But how to work on that, we are going to make it. But to work on that, first of all, you have to know that how to make the accessibility of the package or the server. So whenever we are going to the how to enter on SAP, see what I'm saying that double click on SAP logo under desktop. After completion of the session, I will send this text file also to your mail. So don't get any confusion. I will send it everything. Okay. Double click on the SAP logo. See here, this is the SAP logo which was there.
Okay.
You just make a double click on this one. Just make a double click on this one. So as double click on the Google Chrome simply, which we can see here.
Okay.
So whenever we made a double click on the SAP logo, this individual PC, whatever it was there, this individual PC, which has been connected with the multiple, that multiple of the servers list will be shown into here.
Okay.
These are the clients. So which server you need to access? So for example, if I need to access this server and then log on. That means simply which I am saying that select our server and then click on log on. Then click on log on.
Yeah.
So this is the server which I need to make the access. Right? This one. This was the server and then log on. Okay, fine. After logging into the SAP page, that means whenever I got the accessibility to the SAP, it is asking that, what is your user ID and password? So your requested, you have given the request to the system that I need to make the accessibility of the server. Okay, fine. For making the accessibility on that server, into that server, what is your credentials? That means what is your user ID and what would be your password? That's what we have to give the information to the system. So here, whenever you have become as a consultant in an organization, you will get the one user ID and password. As in that way, what is your user ID and password? So here, my user ID was Vijay. My user ID was Vijay. And my user password was so-and-so. And the language was some XYZ. Done. So whenever we have been logged in, first of all, it's asking the details of the client. First of all, it is asking about the client. So what is a client? So what would be the client in the sense of here the system was automatically proposed as the client name is an 800. Okay. And what would be the user? Here for myself, which I'm having the user of the something around Vijay. And what would be my password? For that user ID, whatever the associated password will be there, SAP SD05. And what was the language which we are making the access? I'm making the accessibility of the language is English. And then press enter. Okay, boss. I know the for as like as Gmail ID, whatever it was there, as like as to make the accessibility of the SAP for each and every have the one user ID and password. I will give the user and password in the language of the accessibility. That was cool. What about this client ID? Here it was showing that client is an 800. Is it?
Yeah.
So I don't know that what is this client 800. So what is the client ID in the sense of what is your team ID? Team. That means in this server for making the process of this client, what it is for the client of the AstraZeneca, there was a three separate modules are there. Say for example of finance, sales, material management. Three teams are there. But
And sales and
something purchasing or procurement,
okay.
Okay. But whoever the person is there, that means simply which we can say that you are the one of the person in the team of the SD, right? But can't we say that only in the SD team you are having? No. In the SD team, you are also one user. In SD team, you are also one consultant. But can't we say that only Mr. Surya is the SD team?
No.
Is it right?
Yeah.
So, as well as only by the sales team, the project will not be happening, should not be complete. There should be a multiple of the teams would be there.
Yes.
So, as in that way, what is your team number? What is your team ID? The team ID, whatever we are having, which was called as a client ID. The team ID is called as a client ID. And here, which I have used the 800. That means in a simple manner, which we can understand that 800 is an SD. 500 is an FICO. Like 300 is an MM.
Okay.
It can be anything.
Yeah. Got it.
And under the team, what is your ID and what is your password? Okay. But here, why we are using the 800 in the sense of 800, 801, 810, and 811. These are the four client IDs, whatever it was there, which represents the IDES client. So what it mean by the IDES in the sense of international, demonstrational, international demonstration and educational system.
Mhm.
That means for the demonstration purpose and the academic purpose, which we are regularly using these of the 4 client IDs only.
Okay.
That means except of these are the 4 client IDs, anything can be into the real time. But these 4 should not be there into the real time.
Real time. Yeah.
These 4 are especially made for IDS.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes.
That should be it. And let me log on and then enter. After giving my credentials, I press enter. Sorry. When I entered onto the SAP, this is the initial screen which has been shown here.
Mhm.
And this was the initial screen, which it was called as a GUI. What it is? UI. What it
UI.
means by the GUI in the sense of which it means by the graphical user interface. Graphical user interface.
Okay. Yeah.
What it is a GUI in the sense of it is a graphical user interface. So in a simple manner, what is the graphical user interface in the sense of it is nothing but like an end user screen.
Mhm.
That means after completion of the implementation of the this one, whoever the persons has to be work on that, as which we said that the user wants to enter the transaction of the inquiring, quotation or the sales order. That will be considered onto the GUI. That is called as a user interface. Right.
Mm.
Okay, boss. When we have logged in, it was showing the user interface. That should be good. But we are not the users, no? We are the
Yeah. Cancel. Yes.
so
Yes.
and user in the sense of day-to-day activities, how that will happens by through the user level of the GUI. And
Mhm.
but how will make the implementation? For making of that implementation, what is the screen it was? What is the screen it was? That is called as an IMG. Which it means by that? Implementation guide screen. Which it means by that consultant screen or customization screen.
Okay.
Customization screen, right? But when we are entering onto this, when you are entering onto the SAP, it was showing the implementation. I will make the entry into the implementation. That was the question. That was the question. What we have to do? What we have to do? So when we have been logged in, it was showing the GUI. But I want to make an entry into the
IMG.
implementation.
Yeah.
What we have to do and how it will be happening.
Mhm.
And how it will be happening. What it will be happening. So for that, from the GUI,
So, Kiran, this one, what are the page you are showing now on SAP Access,
this
Easy
is the
Access? This is
easy access.
consultant page, right?
No. This is in a user screen. User
Okay.
interface. GUI or easy access screen, both are the same.
Okay. 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 Mhm.
So this is what the user entry screen.
Okay.
So, but we want to move from the user entry screen to the GUI screen. Sorry,
Yes.
user entry screen to the IMG screen.
I am the screen.
But when we are entering onto that SAP, first of all, it was showing the user entry.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But
Got it. Yeah.
I want to move on to the consultant screen.
IMG. Yeah.
What we have to do? So
Mm.
what we will do in the sense of, we need to make the accessibility of that from here. The cursor was blinking there, no? That cursor was blinking, whatever it was there. That is called as a command field.
Okay.
A command field. Under that, whatever the command field which we are having, under that command field, we have to give the command. What was the command which we have to give? That it is an SPRO. That means, which we are saying it is SPRO, which is used to move from GUI to IMG.
Mm-hmm.
We have to make a from the
Okay.
GUI.
So first, yeah. So first, initially, we will be log on to the GUI page. From there, we have to move to IMG.
Yes, that's what exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what exactly. We have to move on to the GUI to IMG.
IMG. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for moving onto the GUI to IMG, in the cursor command field, which we have to use that SPRO. One more thing, there is no case sensitivity.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Throughout the SAP is not a case sensitive. Either you can use the small letter or capital letter, it will be accepts.
Okay.
It's not a problem at all. Anything we can. Okay.
Yeah.
So we just press enter. Even you can use the enter symbol by this one also.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Otherwise, we can use the normal keyboard of the enter.
Yeah. Enter button. Yeah. Got it.
Okay. So now, where we are into the center, we are into the IMG.
IMG. Yeah.
That means move from GUI to IMG by using a code which is called as SPRO.
SPRO.
Got it now?
Yes.
And okay, boss, from the front end to back end, it was an SPRO. That means GUI to IMG. I'm also had that one. That should be great. Even if I want to come back, then what to do?
Yeah. There will be another thing.
That was a /n. Throughout the world, wherever you go, it can't go move. It can't change this.
Okay.
/n.
So in this one, we can move from IMG to GUI.
That's what, simply.
Okay.
Right. Let's check it out. /n. And then enter. We are into this one.
Yeah.
Initial state. Got it now?
Yes. Yes.
Right. As like as, which I'm already working with the one screen or one session bus. And I don't want to close this. I don't want to make a close of this one. But I want to open a new session. That means in the Google Chrome, which we are using the multiple of the tab screens now.
Yes. Yes.
As like that, I want to make a multiple of the screens in the same.
Okay.
Something you are working with the one screen or one transaction or something, whatever. Okay. You don't want to close that. You want to open another one.
Mm-hmm.
You want to open another one. Then what to do? /o. See, now I had only one session now. Here.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
When I'm using the /o, without closing of this one, I'm getting another one. See that?
Yes.
2 sessions. So,
okay.
As in that way,